So that begs the question. So you say that we can identify our own attachment style. How do we go about that? Like, how do we figure out where we're at so we can move forward?
Yes, it's a great question. So there's different tools. Like one of the things we have is we have people take an attachment style test, and there's actually questions that are scientifically backed to demonstrate what somebody's attachment style is, and it breaks it down by percentage. But I mean, what I find the most often is that people, as a general rule, will know because they'll resonate with one of those,
Mm-hmm.
four attachment styles as we break it down, and it's
Yeah.
quite obvious for people. I will say that sometimes people. May have moments of like thinking that they're more, when I worked with clients, sometimes I'd see a dismissive avoidant come in, for example, and be like, I'm probably secure
Mm-hmm.
because they are not chaotic, right? Dismissive avoidants
Right.
are like they're more to themselves, and so they don't think, oh, I'm not on this like roller coaster all the time. I'm probably the secure one. And sometimes when we self-report or self-identify, until we understand and really observe a little more, sometimes we can think we're a little more secure than we are. Or sometimes I'd see people be like, oh, I'm just a little bit anxious. I have sort of like a little bit of anxious attachment style, but then as I get to know them and get to know their patterns, I'm like, oh, you're pretty anxious. There's a lot in there.
Right.
And so, there can definitely be elements of that, but really what it's going to boil down to is like knowing what your core wounds are, right? Which of those core wounds do you identify with the most? Is it the abandonment? Is it the trapped wounds? Like those are pretty obvious. What are your biggest unmet needs from childhood? Was it a sense of having the ability to be vulnerable, express yourself emotionally, be attuned? If that was all missing, you're more likely to be in the DA kind of category. Or if the big, theme of childhood was the inconsistencies, then you may be more in that sort of a anxious attachment, abandonment kind of category. Or if it was all chaos, then that's probably going to put you in the fearful avoidance space. So it's really understanding like those childhood patterns, the core wounds that are there. And then obviously a really big one is how you cope, right? Do you
Mm-hmm.
just constantly withdraw when you need to cope and constantly sort of avoid everybody and you have all these avoidance mechanisms? Do you constantly cling and find yourself really like having a hard time not trying to fix things immediately or take any time on your own? Or are you the person that's hot and cold? You go back and forth depending on the day. Sometimes you cling, sometimes you totally avoid, and you can see those like sort of juxtaposed polarities there in your experience. So it really boils down to like recognizing those core behaviors. But there's also, we have a free attachment style test online, but then there's tons of them online too. So definitely something that people can look into.
Wow. And this is really great. So and as you were talking earlier, I'm thinking maybe historically I was a anxious preoccupied because I'm the people pleaser. I'm the guy who has trouble saying no. I'll overcommit and then oftentimes will put myself last and then sometimes get resent. In the past I've been ended up very resentful about that, and it's actually blown up my relationships because of it. Or I've had conflicting goals and then boundaries get enmeshed, and that's been my experience in the past. And but it sounds like we can kind of focus on where the wounds come from, as well as how we're coping, right? We're trying to get our needs met when we're triggered, right? And then that'll give us maybe a matrix and just kind of hone in. But it sounds a lot easier to use your test, your quiz,
But
um,
everybody can sort of see
right?
generally as
Right.
well. And it's interesting because the behaviors are still always based on the wounds, right? Like if we wouldn't put ourselves last if we weren't afraid of not being good enough or being
Mm-hmm.
abandoned or being disliked or being rejected. So it's like by working on the wounds first and then trying to work on the behaviors, it's much easier because usually the wounds are actually sponsoring the way that we behave.
Hmm. I like the way you phrase that. They're sponsoring the way we behave. I love it. I love it. How long does it take for one to complete your quiz?
Oh, the quiz is really quick. I mean, it's like 5 to 10 minutes maximum.
This is it, right?
Yep, that's it.
5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Should we do it live?
If you want to, yeah.
Sure, let's do
We
it.
can
You guys want to see me do it live? We can do it live real quick. I got 5 minutes. Let's see. Start quiz. We're gonna find out what's my attachment style. Let's see. Let's see.
Where
Are
are you
you in?
going?
Yes. Oops. Let me go back. Can I go back? I can't
I
go
think
back.
you can just no, sorry.
I can't go back. Oh no.
You can refresh the page and it will it
Refresh it.
will start from the beginning.
Okay. I'll try this again. All right. All right. Just so y'all know, you can refresh it. All right. Yes. There we go. In case my wife is watching, I'm
Very
just
happy.
kidding. Let's see. I'm very happy.
Can be
Yes.
very emotionally
I
present.
would like to think I'm secure now. I've done a lot of work on myself. All
I
right.
bet. And generally, people who stay in long term relationships are dominantly secure, right? Like, if that's not there, it's a lot trickier.
Yeah, right? Thank you for the disclaimer. All right. I feel naturally comfortable and safe expressing my feelings and needs to be loved. I would say yeah. I feel very upset when others infringe on my need. No, I'm pretty even, Steven. I am willing to work through challenges in relationships before suddenly trying to. Yes, definitely. I tend to be out of touch with my emotions. Quite no, not anymore. I am very attuned to others' needs and often put them. Used to.
I mean, you can answer honestly. Like, if it was used to, then it's used to. It's a false.
Right, right, okay.
But I think
No, I don't resent. If I do it now, I do it consciously.
That's good.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to resent it. I know what I'm getting myself into. Let's see. Mm, I would say yeah. I'm very melancholy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Effective at compromising. Yeah. It's very difficult for me to set boundaries unless I am angry. I can sometimes set excessive boundaries and push people away too dramatically. No. If I notice my partner showing any signs of coldness, I panic and want to get closer as quickly as possible. This often happens to me in friendships as well. Yes, actually.
Interesting. Yeah.
It is not uncommon for me to experience inward emotional turbulence throughout the duration of my romantic relationship. This applies. No.
That's the
I
fearful
often
one.
feel very hot or cold towards my partner or family members. No. I know that I'm worthy of healthy relationships. Yes. Now I do. Why do you want to learn about attachment theory? To understand myself better. When I feel hurt by a loved one, I often have a strong fight or flight response, find myself wanting to push the person as far away as possible. No. I do not feel as though I need anything from my romantic partner or loved ones. It can be difficult to conceptualize how others would meet a lot of my. That's a good one. Ah, crafty. All
There's some
right.
sneaky ones in
I
here.
will say I will own it. I have a hard time asking for anything from other people.
Yeah.
I own it. I know it's a problem. I'm working on it, everybody. All right, I'll say yes. I do not enjoy being out of romantic. Wow. I don't fear being alone. I just haven't been alone in a very long time.
That's okay. That's like
I
you're in a
like being in
healthy.
relationships, so
If you're in a
I'll
healthy
say
marriage,
false.
then
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
If a loved one's behavior hurts me, I will express my feelings and try to understand what caused them to act that way. Another tricky one. I'm passive, and I'm still working on this one. I tend to
Interesting.
let things go even if it bothers me. So,
And then
yes.
they usually build up in the background sometimes.
Yep. If a loved one's behavior hurts me, yeah, yeah. I hunger for closeness, but I fear the emotional difficulty of it being at the same time. No.
Yeah, that's probably not you.
Yeah.
The fearful avoidant is that one. That was me.
Gotcha.
That was like, I want the closeness, but I'm scared of it. Like these kind of like push
Right. Because
pull
it's hard to
inner.
trust. Yeah. If you grew up that
Yeah,
way, it'd be hard to trust that the person's going to follow through or not turn coat on you. Right.
exactly.
I
Exactly.
do not like making social plans with others in advance. I often fear being trapped by commitments with other people. No. I find that setting boundaries comes naturally to me. No. Historically, I struggled with them. So,
Yeah,
something I worked very hard on.
that was my struggle too.
I focus much more on the relationship in my life than I do on myself. Used to be the case. I'll say false now. I often feel protective over my space, privacy, and belongings. No.
You're probably very generous
Except my
and very
expensive
good
Mac.
sharing.
Let's see. I generally feel invaded when my partner or loved one demands too much. No way. I'm melancholy. I would prefer to spend most of my free time with my partner if I were to be in a romantic relationship. It would be hard for me to want. Yes. I'm the joint at the hip guy. I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yes. I feel that it is easy to be vulnerable with my romantic partner. I would say for the most part. I find that my partner or loved ones usually emotionally recover from conflict before I do. Hmm. True. That's a curious one. You got some twists in here.
There's some
I was
interesting
expecting,
reasons
yeah,
for
right? I
that.
deeply fear being abandoned by my partner or love interests. Hmm.
I would say if it was true in the past, but it's
Yeah.
pretty categorically false now, then it's false.
Yeah.
It could be that you relate to those old aspects of yourself, but if it doesn't come up as a fear on a daily basis, then it's not a fear
Gotcha.
currently.
Thank you. Gotcha. How much do you know about attachment theory? Well, I know a lot more now than I used to. All right. We'll say I know a little bit. How old are you? I am, oh my gosh. Yes, I'm
Sorry.
41 now. What is your gender? Male. All right.
Sorry, you have to put your
Cool.
email in for the results, but it
Oh,
doesn't
that's it. I'm doing it.
agree. Yeah.
Everybody knows my name. Everybody knows who I am.
You
There we
can put
go.
in like a fake email
Oh
too,
no.
but it gives you a whole
Everybody knows
report.
my email too.
Okay. I was wondering if you don't want to put your
That's
email
all good.
online.
All right. I can't wait to see the results. Oh, and you even have a little cool.
Yeah.
You just, yeah. I'm not surprised anymore. You have videos
Yeah.
everywhere. You put out videos every day. Every
Daily
day.
videos. Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
just,
For I think 3 years now,
that is
probably.
insane. I mean, you're not insane. I just mean that's an insane amount of work.
I like to
But it's
chat
quality,
and
right?
so I just sit down and kind of do them spur of the moment and rifle them out and it's not so bad.
Oh, I have a secure tag. Woohoo! All right. I made it.
You could tell. Yeah.
I made it, everybody.
Congratulations.
I'm going to frame this on the wall. All right. And for anyone who obviously wants to know more about the wonderful work you're doing, you have a great website here, Personal Development School. You have created a wonderful, wonderful database of just a plethora of courses. Like, oh my gosh, like, let me just take a look here. You have so many courses. I'm like, I don't even know where you find time to make them all.
Horses.
But you have just countless courses here. From what I recall, they're in the 119-ish range per course, but you also have like a monthly plan, all access pass, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
And the monthly
all you
plan
can
comes
eat for $67 a month,
pretty much the
right?
buffet style. But
Right?
we do a lot of cool stuff on that one. So I do a webinar with our students 4 times a week. And then it's like an hour and a half long and we just go through like Q&A or we pick like topics that people
What?
are building.
You have
Yeah, and then we
that's
train
crazy.
facilitators. So we have other coaches and counselors in there who also do it. So there's actually a daily webinar. You
What?
can come in. There's a daily webinar between myself and other trained individuals in there, and then we have these social events too, where you can practice with people, like practice communicating, practice learning your needs and sharing them with others. And so we
So
have
you do role play.
yes, exactly. So sort of
What?
like support groups in there. So we have like in total 2 to 3 events per day, except for Sundays. And you can come in, you can practice, you can kind of do all this stuff. And it's nice because you get people together and they build friendships and relationships. And it's honestly really nice to see.
Wow. So you've created a whole community. You have
Yeah.
live interaction daily, which is insane. Most memberships have like maybe a monthly Q&A kind of
Yeah, we
thing.
really
Like,
ramp it up in there.
yeah. Wow. That sounds like a steal, y'all.
Thank you.
That is
Thank
so cool. Wow. Again, I'm just dumbfounded by the work you're doing. I could pick your brain for hours. All
thank you.
right. Wonderful, wonderful. Not to mention your YouTube channel is blown up. You must have a silver play button somewhere laying
You know
around. I'm
what?
surprised it's not in your background.
I went down south and they mailed it to me and it got lost in the mail somewhere.
What?
Never
No, well,
followed
no,
up.
no, no, no.
I
You
have to
gotta
go
frame
find
that
where it
baby.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
207,000 subscribers and growing fast because I believe when we scheduled this, you were like at 170. So yours, it's just blowing up. And it's
Awesome.
no surprise why. Um, you just have so much gold in your YouTube channel here and the videos you put out and your shorts and everything. So
Thank
just
you.
keep up the great work. You're doing a wonderful service to the community. I can't tell you what a need this is, especially in the clients I'm dealing with. The relationship stuff, that's That's at the core of everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
that affects your quality of life on so many fronts. So, absolutely wonderful. If you're watching this, subscribe to her YouTube channel. You won't regret it. Got a lot going on your Instagram as well, right?
Yeah.
52,000 followers there. Same thing. You can be found pretty much everywhere at the Personal Development School. Sounds like it's
Yes.
pretty
Exactly.
consistent. Same with your Facebook, right?
Yeah. Yep. Definitely.
TikTok. Oh, that's different. That's Thais Gibson. That's your name on
Yep.
TikTok, right?
Yep.
Okay. And LinkedIn, Personal Development School. All
Thank
right.
you. Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Of course. Yeah, for sure. Just want to make sure that everyone knows where to find you and the wonderful work you're doing. So, thank you for that. This has just been a wealth of information. If anybody is left in the chat and wants to throw out a question or two, now is your chance. Otherwise, you'll have to hunt her down later. But as busy
Awesome.
as you are, I'm sure you're hard to get a hold
I've really enjoyed being here with you, and thank you for all the kind words. And this is a really, really nice discussion.
This was great. Yeah, thank you so much for making time, and I hope you have a great week. And the invitation's always open. You're always welcome back on. You can be our resident expert on attachment styles. You know,
Thank
just let
you.
me
I
know.
would love to be. I would love
Yeah,
that. Absolutely.
by all means.
Thank you. And you're doing beautiful work in the world too.
Ah,
So thank you
thank
for
you.
what
I'm
you're doing.
trying. Um, do hang out for a couple minutes after so they can finish downloading your audio, videos, and backup. And if you don't mind, and we'll be good. With that, everyone have a great week. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to subscribe to the Mental Health Toolbox YouTube channel and podcast. That way you don't miss out on any excellent live interviews like this. I'm sure a lot of you will be a little sad that you missed this one. So don't miss it next time. Subscribe to the email list. You can go to the website, mentalhealthtoolbox.com, sign up to the newsletter there, or hit the link in the description. And then I always shoot out an email at least 24 hours before these lives. So that way you won't miss. Okay? All right. With that, everyone, have a fantastic week. And there we go.
Nice.